Hey, what's going on, guys? Brandon here with Texas Plinking with the video I'm pretty excited about. I'm justifying making this entire video about a new rifle stock system, and that means I'm pretty excited about it. So it comes from Grayboe. Maybe you guys know about them, especially if you're subscribed to the channel. My first Grayboe stock I ever had was my Renegade back in 2018, I believe, on my first custom rifle. It was from Alma Precision Rifles, and I still have that rifle today. It's probably one of my top 2 rifles I own in favoritism. Really cool stock. So Grayboe is not a new company by any means. They do a lot of cool stuff, especially at the price. It's more than fair American company, American made stocks. But before I get into what's new with Grayboe, I'll just kind of give you guys the quick summary on, how stocks have worked in the past, no matter how they are, chassis stocks, fiberglass, carbon fiber, whatever. And that is that if you're building a rifle from the ground up, or you're modifying an existing one you have, and you want to get a different stock or chassis system, you have to get a very specific stock or chassis system for that particular action footprint. So in this particular case, we'll dive into it a little bit more in a second, but a very popular one is a Remington 700 short action. That is, if it is a shorter action, 308, 6.5 Creedmoor, 6 Creedmoor, stuff like that. Once you go long action, that's a 300, 338 kind of caliber, and all that good stuff, the longer casings. And you always seek the stocker chassis for that footprint of an action. And so when you get a stocker chassis, it's always been specific to that. Grayboe's done some pretty trick stuff to where some of their stocks now, 2 in particular, we'll talk about the core and the Flagstaff, and then there's gonna be a lot more coming soon. They make a stock that fits almost all of them, at least the very popular ones. I go ahead and put a little screen recording of purchasing one so you guys can see how many they support. The stock itself is where I'm getting at with it, is it's universal. It fits long action, short action, different makes of footprints, and the way it does that is you still need one particular piece to your action, and they call it the universal mini chassis system. That is the thing in between your action and the stock. So that may seem like it's got a lot of obvious advantages, but maybe for some people, maybe you're thinking, well, I'm not intermixing things that much, I just kind of want one and done. Well, the cool thing is with this system, a universal mini chassis and the stock, it doesn't limit you by any means. If you were gonna get just one stock and never swap it, you could pretend it's that same way with this mini chassis built into the stock, because the pricing really isn't all that bad. So you could forget it's even universal at all if you're just building one particular rifle. But let's say you, for an example, outgrow something. If you get a custom 6.5 Creedmoor one day and spend a lot of money on a fiberglass stock, they could run a decent amount of money. Chassis could run for almost $2,000 alone sometimes. And let's say you outgrow it and you want to get some long action, like 338 or something like that, 300 PRC, and you have to go and build out an entirely new rifle, including the stock entirely. If that were to happen now with this new universal chassis system, you are just out that middle piece, not the entire carbon fiber or fiberglass stock. So just as an example of what I have on the table here, like I mentioned, right now Grayboe is doing this with 2 stocks, and they're going to very aggressively add to that, and they're very different from each other, so they support each other pretty well. But just as an example, this here is their core stock. With both of these are going to have the universal mini chassis system, but this core stock, that we'll dive into the features in a little bit, but it does have a Remington 700 short action clone footprint in here. And over here I've got their Flagstaff, which we'll dive into again in just a little bit, but this is an American Ruger in 300 blackout, and I could intermix these because the universal mini chassis system is screwed into the action. Let's go ahead and get into the feature set. We'll start off with this core because it's the one I'm very excited for. So the core is forged carbon fiber, and they also have fiberglass options as well. They take AICS mags. They got a ton of M-LOK attachment points on the bottom as well, just so you could run all kinds of stuff, Arco Swiss long mounts, or just doing what I did with the pick rail and Atlas bipod. They got 7 different QD flush cup points for different kind of sling attachments, whatever you want to do there. Of course, it's got different comb height adjustment points, and it does come with this soft cheek saddle as well. You got these threads on the side, and so as an optional upgrade, you could also get this little 2-round holder or quiver. On the back, there's this really cool gel recoil pad, reduces some recoil, but it just looks really cool as well. And being universal, you hope that it fits a lot of different kind of barrel profiles, and this one does very much so. So 1.25 straight barrel, no problem on this. There's a few different color options you could get as well. I have the basic forged carbon. I say basic, it looks really cool, just uninterrupted, just forged carbon. There's also zombie green, carbon hunter orange. I forgot what they call the other one that's like green or gap camo. And then they have the fiberglass ones that are ranger green and Kodiak brown. I believe they also have a gray fiberglass stock as well. To get into the price point, they're not really necessarily claiming that they are super budget friendly, but I have to say, just given options out there like other fiberglass stocks without the universal, ability, I think they're priced pretty darn fair. This one, as it turns out, as seen, is $799. They do not include the universal mini chassis systems. Those start at $199. And thankfully, Grayboe, as of recently, they become a partner of the channel, and so they're pretty cool to hook it up with a discount code that saves you guys 10%. So that being said, after the discount code, if you want the carbon fiber model, it's $719, and then the fiberglass one becomes $674. And at that price point, they are more than competitive given the feature set they have. As far as the universal mini chassis system, that's what you need to attach to your particular rifle to be able to swap the stocks. They start at $199, and after code Texas Plinking, I believe they're just under 180, like 174 or so. If I'm wrong, I'll go ahead and correct that here. And so that's the core, and I really want to showcase that off some more because I think that pertains to my shooting style. Even though it's forged carbon fiber, I will say though, the purpose of it is definitely more of a competition derived stock. It's very, very strong. When you think about carbon fiber, you think strong and light. It's not ridiculously heavy. This is not like a total brick, but it's not featherweight light either. This is not necessarily like a light hunting stock per se. You can hunt with it obviously, but it's not really claiming to be light. It's just kind of what you expect for like a competition stock. Totally unrelated to that as far as its purpose, they have a different stock as well. They call it the Flagstaff, and this just came out very, very recently, both of them for that matter. This one is definitely more so targeted on the lightweight hunting and very, very economic side of things, and they even have a promotion going on right now to combine the stock with the universal mini chassis system. So I think if I know my audience well, if you're subscribed, you guys probably will like this one more because bench rest shooting and just shooting long range for fun. But I'll definitely tell you guys about this because it's worth noting. If I'm not mistaken, the stock itself is like under $200. I think like $169, and that's before a discount code. But if you're already buying a stock, it's your first time buying one of these systems, you need your, universal mini chassis system. And they have a deal right now to where the two of them combined are $299. So that is pretty darn stellar. It pretty much, if you're already gonna get a universal mini chassis system, it's as if this stock is just another $100. That is an absolute steal. And so I figured I'd mention that. Not so bench rest oriented though, I will tell you that, just because, again, very lightweight. You do have some M-Lock on the bottom. This one's constructed out of polymer, not fiberglass, not carbon, nothing like that. There's a streamlined, lightweight hunting stock for not a lot of money. It does the job very, very well and looks pretty good too. So without making this video too long, I think that's kind of summarizing the talking portion. I'm shooting this video a little out of order. As you can see, it's nighttime now, but thankfully I already did shoot a little bit during the day with the 6.5 Creedmoor setup. I made a video with this rifle already, but of course it wasn't fitted in the stock. This is actually a Night Stalker Precision custom rifle that was done up by my friends over at Night Stalker Precision. So in the shooting demonstration, I will be shooting it with some SIG 140 match ammunition. Same optic from the last time you guys saw it in the MDT chassis. It's very, very economic. It's a Arca SH4 Gen 2 4-16 by 50. These things, I forgot the price, they're silly cheap. They also have a discount code. I'll display that here, but it certainly does the job, and 16 power is all I really need to shoot 1,000 here anyway. Cool suppressor. First time showcasing this. This is a Fletcher Rifle Works Texas Flood. They made this and sold them for some disaster relief for the Texas floods. So there's that. Again, shooting this video a little bit out of order, but let's go ahead and go straight to the shooting demonstration at 1,000 yards. We already know the rifle shoots well, but let's go ahead and see it shoot well in this new Grayboe core. And then we'll go ahead and wrap things up with this guy, shoot a little bit of 300 blackout and call it good. That's a stellar start. Not too bad. Oh, just right of it. All right. Man, this thing's on the money. I remember when I brought it out in the MDT chassis, and now today in this core, this thing shoots really, really well. Let's try to go for a 10-inch target. I feel like best chance of seeing splash with these conditions is going to be the orange one all the way to the left. If I'm wrong, I'll transition. Let's try it out. Nice. All right. Let's go to that one until we miss, and then I'll try to repair the ego with the big target. Got some wind picking up now. Oh my. All right, let's go ahead and go for, just hurt the ego, go half M away. That orange one right underneath it. It's a 5-inch target at 1,000. Oh my goodness, almost kissed it. All right, gonna die on that hill. Let's just burn the ammo there. Man, repair the ego. Let's go ahead and just throw it on the silhouette here and on a hit for 1,000 yards. Alrighty. Why not showcase this here as well? Show a little bit of subsonic suppressed 300 blackout. This is a Ruger American in 300 blackout. And in fact, I made a video showcasing a new DNT thermal. This is the last video I made. And this was in the core. So I already kind of teased it a little bit. So you guys already saw some of that footage. If not, I'll play a little bit of that as well. So same exact thing, now I plopped that into this new Flagstaff. And again, this can be put into here as well. All that universal stuff, very, very cool. Anyway, using a dead air Ruger combination, this is the, I have to remind myself, RXD 30 Ti. Let's shoot a little bit of 300 blackout subsonics, record with the DNT Hydra thermal on there. If you guys missed the video on it, check out the last video where I'll link them at the end of this video, and showcase a little bit of that. Using the HS 635 thermal, this is a tick under $2,000 with code Texas Plinking. If you guys are interested, link in the description. Let's go ahead and try it out. You can see on the bottom that suppressor's already getting a little warm. Pretty cool. Well guys, I know this video was a little different and shot out of order. I ran out of light, but thankfully we got some new lights out of the property, so that saved my butt a little bit. But yeah, just a hopefully quick video, just right to the point. I think these new stocks and the universal mini chassis system is very, very cool, very universal. It just opens up a lot of options for you. If you guys are interested in them at all, I do have the link in the description and pinned comment, and do be sure to use code Texas Plinking to save that 10%. That was very, very cool of them to hook that up, and I do appreciate that because I've been a fan of theirs since 2018, long before they were a partner here. So do appreciate that, and hope you guys enjoyed. But that does it. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys next time.